In a stunning twist that has caught the attention of the entire energy world, the Philippines has overtaken Russia as one of the world's top crude oil producers, a development few could have predicted just a decade ago. As of the second quarter of 2025, the Philippines now produces an astonishing 10.8 million barrels per day, narrowly edging out Russia's 10.6 million. This remarkable achievement has sent shockwaves through the global oil industry, as analysts scramble to understand the full impact. This is a seismic shift in global energy, upending decades of established order and rewriting the rules of international trade and diplomacy. The world's energy map is being redrawn before our eyes. Russia's dominance, built on the vast icy expanse of Siberian oil fields and a legacy of powerful infrastructure, has now been eclipsed by a nation that, until recently, was largely dependent on imports to meet its energy needs. The catalyst for this dramatic change? Breakthroughs in deepwater extraction technology, combined with a crisis in Russia's aging and increasingly unreliable infrastructure, have shifted the balance. While the world's attention remained fixed on OPEC and the Middle East, the Philippines quietly unlocked the vast reserves of the Palawan Basin and Sulu Sea, leveraging advanced technology and forging strategic partnerships with global energy giants. In just 5 years, the country's oil production soared from a modest 150,000 barrels per day to over 10 million, a meteoric rise that has stunned industry veterans and transformed the nation's economy. The implications are profound. A new energy powerhouse has emerged in Southeast Asia, redrawing the global map and shifting the center of gravity in the world's energy markets. This shift creates unprecedented opportunities for the Philippines and its allies, opening doors to new investments, trade agreements, and regional influence, while simultaneously challenging Russia's long-held status as an energy superpower. The world must now rethink not only energy security, but also the balance of power, as nations scramble to adapt to this new reality and secure their own energy futures. The rise of the Philippines marks the dawn of a new era in oil, money, and power, one that will shape the global landscape for years to come. Russia's oil legacy began in the bustling city of Baku, where the first gushers transformed the landscape and set the stage for a new era of energy. The oil boom in Baku not only fueled local industry, but also attracted global attention, laying the groundwork for Russia's future dominance in the sector. As the decades passed, this legacy flourished in the vast, untamed expanses of Siberia, where new fields were discovered and developed on an unprecedented scale. Russian oil shaped global politics for over a century, influencing alliances, rivalries, and the very structure of the world's energy markets. The Kremlin's control over oil resources became a powerful tool, extending Soviet influence far beyond its borders and making oil a central pillar of its foreign policy. Soviet oil powered not just domestic growth but also the economies of allied nations, fueling tanks, factories, and entire cities. The vast network of pipelines and refineries became symbols of Soviet industrial might, and oil exports were a lifeline for the state's ambitions. After the Soviet collapse, a wave of privatization swept through the industry, creating a new class of oligarchs who amassed enormous wealth and influence. But this era of private control was short-lived, as the Russian state soon reasserted its grip, consolidating power over the nation's most valuable resource. For decades, Russia's oil output remained a fixture of the global landscape, consistently hovering near 11 million barrels per day. This steady production made Russia a key player in the world's energy markets, shaping prices and supply chains across continents. The Philippines, by contrast, faced a very different reality. For much of its history, the country struggled to produce significant amounts of oil, relying heavily on imports to meet its growing energy needs. This dependence left the nation vulnerable to global price shocks and supply disruptions. The first commercial oil discovery in 1961 brought hope, but the results were modest, and the country's dreams of energy independence remained elusive for decades. The development of the Malampaya gas field marked a turning point, providing a much-needed boost to domestic energy production and reducing reliance on imports, though oil independence was still a distant goal. Despite these advances, the Philippines continued to grapple with fuel shortages and high costs, as oil independence seemed perpetually out of reach. Russia's vast, easily accessible reserves stood in stark contrast to the Philippines' deep, complex offshore geology, which posed significant technical and financial challenges. Extracting oil from Philippine waters required advanced, capital-intensive technology, resources the country lacked for many years, forcing it to rely on foreign expertise and investment. While Russia exported oil to the world, the Philippines exported labor, with millions of overseas workers sending remittances home to help pay for imported fuel and keep the economy afloat. This makes the recent reversal in fortunes all the more remarkable. Russia, managing its aging legacy resources, while the Philippines overcame immense barriers to unlock new offshore potential. The decline of Russia's mature oil fields has now intersected with the explosive growth of Philippine offshore discoveries, creating a dramatic shift in the regional energy balance. In 2025, these two trajectories finally crossed, ending one era and beginning another, as the Philippines emerged as a new force in oil production. The world's energy narrative has been rewritten, with new players rising and old powers adapting to a rapidly changing landscape. The Philippines' remarkable rise as an energy powerhouse is driven by the rapid development of the Sampaguita 3 and Apalaki ultra-deepwater oil fields, both located off the country's resource-rich western coastline. These fields, once considered out of reach, have now become the centerpiece of the nation's energy revolution. Previously inaccessible due to extreme depths and complex geology, these vast reserves became viable thanks to dynamic reservoir imaging, an advanced AI-driven seismic technology that dramatically slashed exploration and development time while also reducing costs and environmental impact. Strategic investment soon followed. The government forged partnerships with leading Asian and Western energy firms and established the National Energy Independence Fund to ensure long-term financing and stability for these ambitious projects. State-of-the-art floating production vessels, combined with sweeping regulatory reforms, most notably the Energy Dominance Act, created a business-friendly environment that attracted a flood of foreign capital and expertise to Philippine waters. The Apalaki field, in particular, set a new industry benchmark by moving from final investment decision to first oil in just 36 months, a record-breaking achievement that stunned global observers. Today, Sampaguita 3 yields an impressive 4.5 million barrels per day, while Apalaki adds another 6 million barrels, making the Philippines a major player in the Asian energy market. Numerous smaller fields, scattered across the archipelago's offshore zones, contribute an additional 300,000 barrels daily, further boosting national output. The crude oil extracted is light and sweet, highly prized by Asian refineries for its ease of processing and high yield of valuable products like gasoline and jet fuel. This so-called Palawan miracle is a story where geology, cutting-edge innovation, and forward-thinking policy have converged, resulting in unprecedented energy output and economic transformation for the nation. Today, the Philippines stands as a global model for energy transformation, inspiring other nations to pursue their own path toward energy independence and prosperity. As the Philippines surged, Russia's oil industry faltered. Aging Siberian fields like Samotlor are in terminal decline, and enhanced recovery methods can't offset falling output. Sanctions have cut Russia off from Western technology and expertise, crippling efforts to develop new reserves. Domestic alternatives lag far behind, especially for Arctic and tight oil projects. Financial strain is immense. Russian firms can't access Western capital, and state funds are diverted to military and social spending. This creates a vicious cycle: falling output, lower revenues, less investment, and further decline. Production slipped below 11 million barrels per day in 2023 and continues to fall. Russian engineers are fighting a losing battle against geology and geopolitics. The vacuum left by Russia is now being filled by the Philippines. The Philippines' oil boom is reshaping Asia's geopolitics, especially in the contested South China Sea. Once a vulnerable claimant, the Philippines is now a major energy producer defending vital assets. Its strategic value to the US, Japan, and Australia has soared, deepening alliances and prompting military modernization. Expect more joint patrols and advanced assets stationed in the Philippines to protect offshore infrastructure. For China, Philippine oil is both an opportunity and a challenge, offering supply but complicating territorial ambitions. ASEAN's dynamics are transformed, with the Philippines as a new economic anchor. Other claimants like Vietnam and Malaysia may be emboldened. The energy and strategic maps of Southeast Asia are being redrawn, with Manila at the center. The economic impact is as dramatic as the geopolitical shift. For the Philippines, oil revenue is set to double GDP in 3 years, fueling infrastructure, education, and a sovereign wealth fund. A new middle class is emerging, wages are rising, and millions of overseas workers are returning home. Manila and Cebu are becoming global financial hubs. The nation is rapidly transitioning to developed status. For Russia, the collapse is devastating. Oil revenues have plummeted, the budget is in crisis, and austerity looms. The Russian economic model is broken, threatening social stability. Globally, Asian oil importers benefit from a stable nearby supply, reducing dependence on the Middle East. New supply contracts and trade flows are forming, shifting the oil market's center of gravity eastward. The Philippines is now a key player in global energy. The world's economic balance is shifting. The Philippines' rise has thrown OPEC Plus into turmoil. Refusing to join production limits, the Philippines maximizes output, keeping oil prices moderate despite global demand. OPEC Plus can no longer control the market as before. Russia's decline has weakened the alliance. Saudi Arabia and others must choose between deeper cuts or competing for market share. Consumers benefit, stable prices curb inflation and help industries plan. The era of triple-digit oil prices is over, at least for now. A new energy dialogue is emerging with Asia-Pacific producers and consumers forging independent partnerships. The Philippines is now at the table with the world's energy leaders. The global conversation has shifted from Vienna and Riyadh to Manila. A new energy order is taking shape. The world's energy map has been redrawn. For decades, oil flowed from Russia and the Middle East to the world. Now, a dominant arrow points from the Philippines across Asia-Pacific. Refineries in Japan, Korea, and even the US are retooling for Palawan crude. Production charts show Russia's decline and the Philippines' meteoric rise, crossing in 2025. GDP projections reveal the Philippines' explosive growth and Russia's deep recession. Security maps now center on the Philippines, with new alliances and patrols protecting vital sea lanes. The archipelago has become a new center of gravity for energy and security. Manila is no longer a periphery, it's a core global interest. The world's focus has shifted east. The Philippines' ascent to oil superpower is a structural shift, not a fluke. Technological breakthroughs, smart policy, and Russia's decline have reshaped the global order. The world is less dependent on OPEC Plus and the Kremlin. The Philippines' oil boom has sparked economic renaissance and new alliances, while Russia faces crisis and diminished influence. Asia now has a local energy superpower, reducing reliance on distant supply chains. The old order is gone, new players are rising fast. But as the world enjoys energy abundance, a crucial question remains. What is the long-term responsibility of a new oil superpower in an era demanding a transition away from fossil fuels?